Seniac, this junction is hurting my brain. Me. I'm pretty sure you broke my brain creating that junction. Where you want to say first, but you can't. Because you're not. The outside connection is giving me Truman Show vibes. Seniac, after overcomplicating a roundabout. It's all good. It's all good. That one ambulance swerving through the toll booth. Which exit do we take? Guys, let's start a new trend. Take a sip of tea every time Seniac breaks a building. Guys, welcome back to another episode of The Fool's Kingdom here in City Skylines, where last episode we built that little bit of an outside connection. It's solely there to kind of make the game work and not break and die like it always does when you create isolated island communities. But it's gone on pretty well. I think there's a few things I've enabled since, because I'm recording this directly after I destroyed Snowtown. So I think I might have, hold on. It never rains in Fool's Kingdom, so get rid of you. Also, get rid of the random disasters, because can't be having that right now. Can't be having stuff breaking on me right now. But guys, welcome back to the episode. If you are enjoying this series and want to see more, please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you're new in here, then make sure you do subscribe so you're notified when the next episode does come out. Now, something I want to ask you guys. Since we last built this, a little outside connection, which I'm eventually going to turn it into a bridge and get rid of the land. I've noticed that all the traffic now coming in, cargo or commercial traffic is coming in, driving straight to here, and then shipping the cargo via ship rather than driving around the roads, because that is then deemed the quicker route. Well, that is all good. You know, we're going to fix that to try and make it a little bit easier. We're going to incorporate a train line that goes directly out, so they come in via train instead of via vehicle. But it kind of led me onto something else. Now, all of our shipping paths are all intertwined and connected with one another. Now, my thought process was, and I wanted to kind of get you guys' thoughts on this. I want to know if there's any benefit to it. I'm thinking about kind of deleting some of the lines and having multiple lines, shipping lines that go through the kingdoms, but not all of them connect together. So, like, say, for example, you know the two Koreas, the North Fall and South Fall? What if this line went directly out here? It passed through, I deleted the connection that way, it came down here, deleted all these connections, and then went out this way, so it's like its own separate line, which means cargo can't come from one kingdom to another because the lines do not connect. Now, you may be thinking, yeah, but Seniac, what's the point in that? You're not going to be able to transport goods to and from. Well, that's kind of the whole point. But I don't know how broken that will become, because that's kind of fun, because it then means we can't trade with certain kingdoms and kind of completes our narrative of certain kingdoms not being able to trade. Well, via ship anyway. I mean, we could build bridges that could transport cargo over. They can have airports that kind of trade cargo that ways. So I just thought it would be kind of interesting to see if that would be a thing. Probably not, but I'll let you guys your thoughts on that, because it means I can isolate some countries and they can't trade with anybody, so it means they do have to be 100% self-sufficient. So, anyway, what are we doing today? Now, first things first, I want to sort this little bit of an issue out, because it is bringing in a bit of traffic. And what it pretty much is, it's all the empty vehicles that have exported goods, then returning back into the kingdom as an empty vehicle to go back to their returning facility. So they're all driving to here, the cargo hub, then they'll be shipped, say for example, to Fool's Kingdom, and then an empty ice cream van will drive to the commercial building to where it originated from. Which is not, it's fine, that's what it's meant to do, but what's annoying is it's slowing down how many fish exports are going through here, because this truck here filled with fish is waiting for days to try and get in. And then we also have this little bit of an exit problem, as they're all trying to filter into one lane to then try and do this 90-degree turn right now. Where, as good as that is, I think we're going to kind of, you know, get things rocking and rolling. So, I'll first start with the exit kind of system. Right, and we'll do it first as a little bit of a slip road. So coming from directly out here, you can slip straight down and off you skedaddle. I'll then turn it into, if I can, is it the whole thing? Okay, the whole thing's going to be now a double lane. So we've got the straight on section, we've got the, you know, do a right hand turn section. And then it does mean we have this little bit, which I'm going to leave it as it is. Actually, do I leave it as is, or do I turn it into back to the normal style, you know, lane like that? I think that's the kind of the way to go forward with it. Now, there's a lot of traffic. Okay, all the traffic's kind of all gone. Okay, that didn't take too long to solve. I think it's mainly when a ship comes, then we get the big bulk of the traffic trying to get out of here. But that then kind of filters for where they want to go. Now, these guys are going to... The owner is the cargo hub, and it's going to export the goods. So they're now driving the goods out of the region, because at the moment, that's the only way we can do it. So the problem is, we got empty vehicles coming in to get to here to ship out. Then the stuff that's being shipped out of the region comes to here, then they'll drive out. So we could get rid of all that problem by integrating a train line. It means... goods coming in can come in by train to there. Goods going out, once they get to here, rather than driving onto a train, skedaddle out. So I'm hoping that's going to solve, you know, that little issue. You know, it comes in waves and whatnot. But I think so. So, with that said, we need trade lines. And we've got to figure out how we're going to do it to a point where we don't mess up this. So I'm thinking it's just going to be like a standard. If I take it from here... and do I push it all the way up and then kind of bend it in that way? Or do I bend it straight in? Or do I make it go underground? Right, if I bring it to there and then wait for that train to slightly pass. Alright, I'm hoping that is just going to be the standardized connection for it. Right, we're already at minus. So I don't know whether to kind of keep going minus, but actually, we'll go another 10. And then here, we'll do a 10 by 10 bend inwards, which would end up here, which kind of then runs parallel. Right, if I go by 20, how does it look from the outside? So it looks a bit funky, but I'm hoping we can now kind of manage it a little bit better. So if I select here, there, and there. Okay, we can't quite get that one. But if I then lower these down, or heighten. Oh dear God. Oh dear God. So select both of these. Actually, I shouldn't be selecting both of them. I should be doing them in stages. I don't know why I'm doing it like that. But if I get these to be the kind of the same length borderline as this, it's not going to be perfect. You kind of get the idea of it. And then this one, tunnel here, is how it's going to change how that progresses in. Now, is the train line going? It's kind of going down from the inside of it, which is fine. We'll take it. Love it. Beautiful. And voila. There we go. Oh, dear God. Anyway, we'll have then the underground train line go to just here. And then we want it to bring it up to normal. It's all comes down to where does it come out, which is there, which it don't matter to me what it looks like over this side because we pretty much don't care. But there you go. Eventually there'll be bridges. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. So underground then, look at the traffic jam it's caused, which is a bit OTT, isn't it? We bring this so far straight, but then before we start doing the bends. There we go. To here. To there. I know there's some dramatic stuff going on. I get that. I freaking get that. But it is underground, okay? It is underground. Ignore the height difference. I mean, I could select it all and kind of level it all off. How easy is it to do that is the question. So if I get rid of trees, and then say if I select... Ooh, do you know what? Hang on. It could be fairly easy. I mean, I don't know how good this is going to look. Whether it makes much of a difference. But it might be a good idea. Maybe. So, would you say that is the... I'll pull it to the same level as, say, this one. I'll undo it if it's a bit too much. So, to object height of that, it then means it's all at the same level. All the vehicles are now flying around. You can see how crazy they're going. But it does mean that we're going for the tunnel at the same level. You can kind of now see it, rather than it kind of go up. Oh, dear God. I'm flying. Vehicles are flying everywhere. You see them all flying because no one knows what they're meant to do anymore. What have you done, you damn fool? What have you done? So that's now connected there. And it shouldn't be too long before we do start seeing the train. Vehicles are still flying around because of the chaos that just ensued. And we'll pull into a little bit of a fast forward mode then. And then hopefully we should start seeing very soon trains heading in and out. That's what we can hope for, because then by doing it via vehicle coming in and out is not really working out too well. It's not really working out too well. So we've just pretty much got to play the waiting game. We're going to play the waiting game until we see something take full storm. Where are you going? You're going directly out. So there is our first train. So we know now that the train line works. We know it works. There's a train heading through. Where is it? Has it gone through already? Oh, no, there it is. So it's tooting on through right now. Our first train exiting the region. Oh, and we might have to kind of do the length of it. So if I just kind of bring this, the first node just... Oh, God, what have I done? Undo. Right, pause a second. Because I've learned this from the past from you guys, is making the first node longer than the actual train line. So then when the trains do pull up and go skirt, skirt, then they can use the little crisscross to get over, basically. So that was the first train heading out, which, you know, is this one going to do the same thing? Yeah, that train there, which is 100% full, means that there was no vehicles coming out. Well, the ones that are exiting the region are not going to come out right now. So give this time. This will take time for it to kind of sort itself out. It will take a little bit of time. But I'm hoping with now all the new vehicles coming in and out, it will slowly slow stuff down. But if they're stuck in this big square, nothing's going to happen, boys. Nothing is going to happen. So what we should be saying on this then is these guys come in through the highway have the right of way. They have the right of way. And if you're giving way, if you're coming into this area, right, just so I haven't got to put down roundabouts or anything like that, it should all slowly just kind of move. But we are stuck in a big square. I'm waiting for that train to enter the region. Once I know it's entering, then it's going to be handy for some peeps. No trains entering just yet. But I feel like another train is going to head out very, very soon. No trains entering just yet. But then we don't really have many vehicles coming in. So even if it was like a big bulk... Right, let's sort this out anyway. Because we got ships lining up for days right now. And this backlog is a little bit too crazy. So, problem is, they can't drive in because they're trying to drive out. So, at some point, we got to sort something out. There's got to be a break in the chain. Right? So, get these vehicles on this side currently out. So, what I'm going to do is going to make these guys go straight ahead. These guys go straight ahead for just a minute. Just so I can kind of... Because I'm just redirecting those peeps. Just so I can move the vehicles here so we can get some vehicles coming in. And just by slightly redirecting them up to this junction, we'll start to move the flow a bit more and get some more stuff coming in. There's another train heading in there. I'm not sure where that's come from. We still got issues with flying cars, but I think that we're still waiting for them to kind of, you know, settle down. Settle down, boy. Settle down. All right, that's all slowly starting to move then. And when we're confident enough, I'll then redirect them into the same spot. Do I have despawn mode on? Currently no despawning. So we do have despawn mode on. Which makes it a little bit more difficult. I don't know whether that's the way I want to go right now. Because I know that, you know, the whole of Fool's Kingdom will crumble with no despawning. So in reality, if it's the case where the only time vehicles are coming here was to export outside of the region, we should see 9 times out of 10 vehicles exiting the harbour to be the fishing vehicles. Which at the moment, it kind of looks like it is. I mean, you get the odd vehicle that is commercial, because we do have some commercial over here. But that will be fairly interesting to see how that kind of semi-changes as time goes on. But yeah, we got the backlog for days, but I'm just kind of waiting for it. So we should really be sorting this now out. So, right. Do I set up dedicated turning lanes? I know they're trying to come straight across, but they really shouldn't be doing it. Maybe I should make them stop. Instead, let me get rid of this vehicle, exporting tuna. But they're all turning in. They've got no... But you should really be making these give way. But then no one's going to give way in it. So I'm just going to make it become a free-for-all. Because that's not my problem. It's not the problem that I'm trying to fix right now. So we've come back to another backlog again. And this is all because we got the despawn mode on. Well, off is the right turn. So if I scrapped the idea of them maybe being able to turn in this way. And let's say I just quickly made this as a... Where's the one-way roads? Because once I filter all the traffic... Oh, why is that under... Oh. Once I filter all the traffic to go in a different direction, that will push the traffic through this way, which will kind of then slowly sort it all out. I'm just trying to fix it without demolishing or changing anything, because the system's fine. It's just got to get rid of this initial traffic to allow them to start using trains. Because I've got a big backlog right now. It's not looking too good, guys. It's not looking too good. Right, traffics are redirecting themselves right now. They're going to slowly start to move, which will then filter more traffic out here. Backlogs for days, backlogs for days, backlogs for days. You boys got backlogs for days, backlogs for days. So it's all slowly moving. As you can now see, it's all slowly moving. Trains are coming in left, right, and centre. Skedaddling out left, right, and centre, which is good to see. That train's heading outside the region. Less vehicles it's putting on the roads. Which is now filtering out this traffic a little bit more easy. As they slowly move. It's bringing the traffic in a little bit easier now. So we're slowly getting that little turnover. Slowly getting a little bit of a turnover right now. It's like trying to solve a puzzle, isn't it? That's kind of like what it's doing. So they should all be turning anyway. Getting to where they need to get to. But I'm only going to cause the traffic jam to be diverted in a different direction. That is what I'm mainly going to be causing. So I think at this point now, we'll put the original ability for what they can do. And it's this lane. Can go that way. So by setting that up then, it filters more traffic out in a different direction. But ultimately the main goal is they're going to be stuck. So I've been watching this now for the last 20 minutes. I've made some adjustments here, there and everywhere. I even came to the conclusion, like, you know, flipping the road around the opposite way. So rather than coming in this way and exporting, going this way in so they can go out and filter out that way, but it still doesn't solve any of my issues. And I think the main issue is, it's not because obviously, you know, I could do lots of things here to fix the traffic and all that kind of stuff, throwing roundabouts and get rid of the congestion in this area. I don't believe that is the problem. And I'll tell you why right now. Look at the amount of ships that we got coming in. More ships coming in here than any other kind of cargo area, all lining up so many vehicles. And it's not because of the traffic, because I can filter out the traffic really easy like it is doing right now. I just can't get enough in. There is too much demand. And I think what it comes down to, because we created this kind of connection here to the edge of the region, it's actually hindering us more than it's doing any good, because the game is automatically thinking this here is the closest area for all cargo from all kind of kingdoms. We'll throw it onto a ship. They'll get it over here because they prefer to drive it outside of the region. So this becomes the first port of call for any vehicle coming in the region, but it also becomes the first kind of preferred export route for anybody exiting the region. Which, when you kind of think about it like that logically, and then throw a fishing industry in the mix where vehicles need to skedaddle here, there and everywhere, it's not really working out too well for us. So I might have to get rid of this harbour. Sole reason being is, I don't think we can have this as being the gateway to the outside world. It's too close. I need them to push in. They might even join on the highway and then use this one, because that then becomes the next closest one. But then that point, it's easier to then drive the goods to wherever it needs to go to. But I don't think that is what we can do anymore. I don't believe that we can have this so close to the edge of the region. Now, if I didn't have the fishing industry around here, it might work out well. But I think that is hindering us. I could do all the fixes in the world to get this how I want it. But because it's so close to the edge of the region, the only connection outside of the region that is usable, that becomes the transfer facility to any goods coming in and out. And it's just in the wrong position, the wrong place. I truly believe that is what the issue is. Which, I'm going to turn the despawn mode off and then back on again. Just so, obviously, we just clear that little bit of traffic and everyone gets back to doing what they need to do. Now, I have turned this off, but for some reason, they're still using it. I don't know why that's a thing, how that works. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure how that then works. I think it's just the last few remaining ships that were planned and scheduled to go that way. And obviously the amount of vehicles that were coming in, it's still spawning ships. So wait for that little backlog to kind of eventually end. But I think that's what the issue is. Which then means if they can't use this, they can't import the goods. This then also becomes useless. So if I manage to switch the train track, so rather than going out this way, it came in this way, so we could still utilize that to a certain extent, but the difference is there's no cargo ships using it. Now, we still have a little bit of a backlog here, but that's because we're still getting vehicles out. This is how backed up this has been, and it's still pushing vehicles out now, and ships, even though it is still closed. But that means if they can't export there, there's no exportation area within the whole of Fishtown. Which you can now see, there's traffic jams as they try and skedaddle through and out of here. Which means they're going to be pushing to a different area. And I think by default, they're looking to take on this side. So if this then becomes the default, which I actually thought it would, I know I did say it might be that, but then, you know, at that point it's easier to drive to where they need to drive to. This might then become overloaded with all the fishing stuff. Which then, that is not good. It's still pumping out vehicles right now. That's not the next best method. So the question then becomes, I don't think Fishtown is the right kingdom to have an outside connection. I don't think it is. It needs to be a neutral kingdom that's well out of the way from any other kingdom for this to work. I truly believe that is what the problem will be, because it's only going to push the traffic over here. If I go into an underground mode right now, look at the amount of traffic trying to skedaddle through and use this roundabout. Which is not a problem to use the roundabout. The fact that everything keeps slowed down there does show me that we do have, not issues, but there's a few little things that we need to set up to allow them to keep flowing through, so they don't keep stopping on that. And you got the ones that want to do a right turn to go to to the Fool's Kingdom. Ones that are going straight on to go to Vegansville. So we will push the traffic through. And I'm filling the traffic all through here right now. Which is then only going to cause issues for this one as time goes on. Which again is not exactly what I want it to do, because I'm funneling out outside the region traffic through Fishtown. It's not the one, is it? I don't think it's the right call. Now, I could keep all this, just get rid of the train. If I got rid of those, I could keep this. I could keep that little shipping area here. I can keep it all. Not a problem. We go back to normal. These issues have only occurred since we added this outside connection. So the question then becomes, if I can't have the outside connection there that tears through downtown Fishtown, which I should have seen. I should have seen it coming. I should have seen it coming. Where do I then have it? I mean, I can't have it within Veganville because the same problem I have again. Now, you know, use this as the next closest exportation area. So then, what does it then become? Do I have a big underground road that comes from the transportation island? Do I set this kingdom up here to being it? Well, every kingdom I use, I have to sacrifice that kingdom to not having a fishing or a cargo shipping area close by. because they'll just use and abuse it. We've now all of a sudden discovered this. I need an outside connection that comes in as a distance so long that it doesn't affect any close by import-export areas, because they can just drive the goods to wherever they need it to go. That's what I need. Because this ain't it, Chief. This ain't it. And we're still exporting vehicles out right now, which shows you the ridiculous backlog that we still have at this point. So we need to break this down then. We've come to a realization, and it's a good thing that we have come to this realization. We've come to it. We figured it out. We know what's going down. Does that mean we need to create a shipping kingdom where all cargo ends up going? I mean, it could be, but the same problem again comes from it. Like, we need to make sure we're not throwing all the guns in that direction. Now, what I could do, and what could potentially be a good idea, is Fool's Kingdom has a highway coming down here. The closest shipping area in Fool's Kingdom right now does then become this one. So I'm thinking if we use this highway, it came down, it went underground, then maybe it popped up over on this kingdom, went funneled all the way down, then bridged off. One, that makes a really long import line for vehicles. Then, what it then does, if the Fool's Kingdom is the one that needs the goods, we've already satisfied it because they can drive the vehicle in, have a load of stuff going on, all that jazz. All that jazz. It then does mean, pretty much mean that this here becomes the closest exploitation area, which then, if I am pulling loads of traffic, they're using the highway. They're bypassing all this area. They're coming straight in, then they'll go over to there. But we've already killed two birds with one stone when you think about it, because Fool Kingdom doesn't then need to ship the goods in, because the vehicles have already got them, right? Then it comes down to Vegansville and Fishtown. They probably do want to ship it over, because for them that will be the quickest route. But the difference is, this is going to be open, ships coming through, thus minimizing the amount of traffic coming through. Karen's Crops area won't then get overloaded. And we do technically have two shipping areas. Fredonia will get its goods via the highway. You see where I'm going with this? That might be the better option for us. It's not the, popular option. But I think it's the option that we kind of need to take a look at. Which means the Fool's Kingdom is going to not claim this kingdom, but they're going to have to be really good friends for this kingdom, aren't they? Like, really good friends. But I honestly believe that is the problem. We've got an industry within here, but also the road is so short coming in and out that it's not working for this area. It's just 100% completely not working. So regrettably, we're going to have to undo all the hard work that we've done to this point in getting things up and running. And with that said, let's do it. Let's do it. So what I'll do for the whole purpose of this, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually turn this back on. Turn it back on, and just to make you aware, we still have no despawning enabled, okay? Leave that as it is. Go back to the original system that we did once have. Now, what you got to remember is before I implemented all this, we didn't have these issues. So we're going to create a new run going out, which does mean eventually this kingdom here will take the brunt of it when it does have its own shipping area. But we can kind of bring or build up to it as time goes on, because eventually we'll have another. Maybe this kingdom will have like an entry point too. Maybe we can still potentially maybe keep this. You don't know how things are going to change. That's why I don't want to get rid of it just yet. I don't want to get rid of it until I add in the new one to see how the areas change. But let's try it. Let's try it. So this is going to be very interesting then. We're going to get the highway. Bam. And do I do parallel roads? I kind of hate doing parallel roads. I really do hate doing it. Now, this road over here is actually a 2-lane road. So 2-lane road. Oh, why did I do that? I don't know. I don't know. And so I never really know how to use this. So if I go across... Oh, no, we're going against a highway ramp. What are you doing? What are you doing, damn fool? So this is actually technically a 2-lane highway. So T for 2, T for 2. How far down have we got to scroll? How many roads do we have? Can I search? Yeah. 2. 2-lane. 2-lane highway. There we go. So going across, that is not the perfect spacing. So if I change that to 30, that's a bit too big. 20. Yes, 20 is the one. So make sure that we're going in the right direction. Oh, they're both going in the wrong direction there. So how do I make one go the opposite way? Like, that's not really how a parallel road works. Well, it's going to have to at this point, isn't it? Okay. I ain't messing about with it because it's just going to cause me issues in the long run. Right. Okay. We'll keep it quite close by this area here. And then the rest of it, we'll do it on bends. So that becomes quite a little bit of a ditch there. So we're going to kind of slightly bypass that as the highway then bends up and round and continues to go straight to here, and then that's where we might kind of curve it up and round is what we're going to do. So we're going to bring it to there, but we're then going to elevate this up by 10. So we know at this point here we're elevated up. And then we're going round in this direction. It's the same. It's not even the same type of road, is it? I think one of them's my modded two-lane highway. Kind of annoying. Right, to there. And I'll manually do the rest. So, is it this one? They're not... No, you can tell by the dotted lanes. That is now the... Oh, what have I... Hang on, I'm still on the parallel road tool thingy mod thing. Right, get rid of you. You were good. You were good to us. But... somewhat annoying. Right. Ooh, can it be a 2-lane road that goes out? It can't, can it? Well, not that road anyway. Oh, it can be. So it can't be the modded version of the road, basically. Which is even more annoying that I've now placed all that down. And it can't be that road. So then I only ever got to upgrade it to go back. I've also got to upgrade it in general. Which, isn't that... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's already the road it needs to be. Right, let me sort all this out, guys. And we'll have a better system. So, believe it or not, it's now all implemented in. It's not perfect, but that's not the point at this point. Get it? I think so. So, I don't know if any vehicles are going to be using it yet. I got in the road going out of the region in first. But it's actually quite... Oh, there's a vehicle. It's actually quite a nice little road. There's a couple of vehicles now using it. So it goes under at this point. I've done it early, just so I got plenty of room. You can kind of see it then goes across here, which you got to kind of sort out. And then it goes under there. Eventually, there'll be like a highway road coming down here that goes under the airport, connects over to here too. Do a beautiful little junction. There might be a connection that kind of comes from Fredonia as well, just to kind of enable things to be all connected and intertwined and all hooked up. But there we go. We have that connection now in. So whether or not it's going to be used, I don't know. In the whole process of that happening, there's... Oh no, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, game. Right, despawn mode is still no despawning, yeah. There's not that many issues as there once was here. But then again, I don't think I'd give it enough time. I think I actually built the whole of that in pause mode. I could be wrong. So expect the issues to arise again anyway. Or is everybody now taken to this side? I don't know. I don't fully know. But there's vehicles now entering, which means there is this outside of the world connection from this angle. No vehicles are yet to kind of go through the tunnel from this side. And I think it's only just started spawning vehicles, to be honest with you, coming from this entry point. So I don't know whether to kind of then get rid of this one. I'm not 100% sure just yet. And I don't know if this is then going to slowly build. I mean, already it's got the backlog coming in. So that is obviously not a good thing. So for the purpose of now, we'll get rid of it. We'll get rid of it, and we'll also get rid of the outside region just there. So we've kind of gone now and defaulted back to the original setup within Fishtown. This is pretty much what it is. And then this becomes the only drivable outside region. So we'll be interested to see how that kind of now plays out. It's a longer process to get in here, and it does kind of benefit Falls Kingdom. I don't know if we're being biased or not. I'm not 100% sure if we're being biased, but all the big business comes through here right now. So it'll be interesting to see how it kind of plays out. It's got... Oh, what happened there? It's got fish trucks who have came from over here. So they've been shipped over from over there to drive out of the region. So they're going that way, which I think is kind of mental. Why don't you just throw it onto a ship and then sail out of the region? I don't know why they prefer to kind of go down that road and do it. But give this time right now to kind of sort itself out, because I've completely deleted those roads. They don't even know what's going on anymore. They don't even know. Which means we'll probably start seeing a lot more vehicles come over here. Whether or not I add in a train line anytime soon, I don't know, because it would then just cause the same issues again. But I think that's what we've kind of got to be aware of, is the fact that we're going to get big bulks of traffic coming in and out. And when you do isolate when you do isolate a city on an island, you got to think of the game logic behind it. And it's going okay so far, but only time will pretty much tell. It's a long road to drive, a very, very, very long road to drive. But the fact that we are seeing vehicles using it is a good sign. So I suppose it's useful for some. But yeah, the whole main reason is to get that issue off from here. It might happen over here, but it's so far in within the driving line that there's so much space for it to kind of handle itself. So much space. So I think by accidentally having the despawn mode turn on for this episode has kind of foreseen the problem in the future. Because this would have only just got worse as they built more and more kingdoms, and then we needed more and more imports and exports. This would just be a complete and utter nightmare. Which kind of means we get our fishing industry back. Doesn't it really? We get the fish market should be full again. I'm seeing big bulks of vehicles now heading out. It's a long way to drive, especially if you're exporting fish that you got to go all the way over to here right now. I think that is ridiculous. But when we do build a kingdom on this island and we drop down like a harbour or whatnot, we've got to be mindful of the fact that vehicles coming in and out might potentially use it. But by the looks of it, we have more vehicles heading out of the region than pretty much coming in. So that's come from over here, oil. So I assume now Oil Town is legit shipping goods over to here to then drive them out. Oh my goodness me. I think in one of my mods you can kind of choose whether they prefer to import and export via vehicles or via ships and planes. But then then you need, the next question is, we need more exportation routes. We need to set up eventually the cargo planes on the go, because if they're heavily relying on, say, this road, for example, and all vehicles are now rerouting themselves to get it over to the Falls Kingdom, this then happens, as you can now see. So the reverse happens in many ways, whether all the vehicles were coming over to, all the ships are coming over to here, the opposite now happens. They're all coming to over here, and then they'll drive the vehicles out. The benefits is we do funnel them straight to the highway. Thus, it doesn't make it as big as an issue as it was in Fishtown. But then we might have to create an island like how we've created over here. Because this is able to handle all the traffic with the despawn mode turn off, and that's bringing all the goods from Fishtown and Vegansville if they're driving it through. Which... return to facility. Return to facility. So it's not entirely... They're not shipping the goods out. Any more cargo vehicles? They've come from a medium warehouse. Any more vehicles coming in or through? So I'm wondering how many of them are driving the goods and exporting out of the region. Returning facility. I don't think any of them are. I mean, these are the ones that arrive by ship. Which is really weird. But yeah, you can kind of see there's a few little issues here and there that we have to solve on this whole junction, which we can create a simplified version or another version of this to allow vehicles that are going straight over the island to the highway, that flyover route, thus eliminating the amount of traffic on the roundabout, which makes it a little bit easier. Everything that we've implemented up to this point utilizes the highway system, which we've got no issues, no problems, which gets the vehicle traffic out so much more easier than the Fishtown version. And Fishtown has gone back to normal. Just normal stuff's coming in and out. The owner of this is all the way from over here. So I think that was Oil Towns was going to export it to over there and then skedaddle, but now it realizes you got to go a different route. I think that's just the tail end of the problems. So it's a bit of a weird episode today, really, isn't it? It's like I had plans to fix this, but then when I realised it doesn't matter how many fixes I throw into it, it's just not going to fix because they're utilising that as the import-export route and it just doesn't work. You know, it's kind of changed things up. But now we understand it a little bit more. There's a lot more vehicles now coming in than before. And for example, this fishing truck is returning to the cargo hub all the way over here, which will then get on a ship and then go to Fishtown. I mean, it's a long way, but I can't make it fishing trucks only enter this section. I can't do that. But it'll be interesting to see as time goes on what happens in the long run. But now we've got this long import road here, an export road. It kind of pushes the traffic out in a wide... It kind of stretches the string of how much stuff is on it. But this then becomes the big one. Again, doesn't take as much flack as the Fishtown one. But it's something that we've got to sort out and look towards next episode. Even this here right now is doing a really, really good job. I think we got things rocking and rolling. But it does show us, though, we're going to need another one. So the plan would then be, where would I implement the next one? That is the question, isn't it? That is the question right now. So maybe Oil Town could have one. Not too sure. Maybe Veganville could have a road. I don't know. Maybe one of these... I'm keep linking back to this kingdom. We've had a road coming out straight over, and it went and connected up to the Fool's Kingdom. But you've got to be careful of how you do that and where you implement it. That just happened to be the perfect connection. But as we build more and more, we don't have that ability to do so. Whether or not we kind of create underground roundabout here as it connects over, that could be the next option for us. It could be. But I'm going to end it for here anyway, guys. It'll be interesting to see how now time passes by. I feel like there's just even more and more vehicles now coming through, which is getting a little bit more crazier. This is all good. Now the only vehicles you really see in this area are fishing trucks. That's crazy, isn't it? That is crazy, but we should now be making... Oh, wrong button. Hold on. Is the fishing industry now making serious cash? Yes, it is. All good. But the farming industry still doesn't want to fix itself. I don't know what's going on with that. I have no idea. But it's interesting. That was interesting. That's a big lesson that I've learned today in how the game reacts. But it's something that we can get over. So with what we've done right now, it seems to hold up pretty well. But as of right now, that's probably the most amount of vehicles you're going to want on these highway roads. So we got to make sure that we, be a bit careful. Create a few more import-export routes, drivable routes to other regions, just to kind of get the game working. Because you got to remember, as much as you want to try and create these ideas of individual kingdoms and islands, the game has its limitations. And I often push the game to its limitations. But it'll be interesting to see what happens now. I think having the additional route leading out from this kingdom as well will be good, because it's still connected to multiple kingdoms anyway. that can drive the goods or ship it, whatever it may be, but we just got to be aware of what is possible. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very, very messy. But I think on that note, guys, we are going to end it for here. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.